Yo, I don't know. I just felt like opening with this. And one thing that's been on my mind, what's new on this channel, that I was pondering about, and I'm trying to come up with more original ideas that I'm not influenced from other people because I don't want to end up regurgitating some things that other people have said. There's probably some things I said on this channel that you've heard from other people, but I've tried to give it some thought and put my own 2 cents into it and part of me. These journals, documents, what the hell? Documenting my thoughts into this journal of a YouTube channel. Kind of a commentary on certain things that I'm interested into, but there's something I was thinking about this, gave it a couple minutes, and I'm like, you know what? This is kind of interesting. Is I think we are addicted to worrying, or at least we feel a compulsive need to worry. Because take it from me, I I was diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. I don't know if I've talked in a past video about my update with cannabis and so forth, and my sobriety journey with it. And kind of just the insights you get from that is interesting because the certain things I used to worry about and fret, it was almost like it gave me a sense of an identity. If I thought deeply about certain things, then I can find answers to them. This was my crazy thought process. And I became identified with my mind to almost where, as humans, we want control over certain situations and we'll create these problems in our head that we want to find an answer to. When, one, you won't really find an answer to that problem until that moment arises or it's your gut feeling. Or two, you're just creating your own problems and there isn't going to be an answer to those because you're inherently making it a problem. Isn't that wild? I've been listening to a lot of like psychology books, and I must be on the fourth reading this book of The Power of Now. I feel like it's really powerful stuff, but every time I read it, I get bits and pieces, but it's just a lot to consider and fully materialize into something that's understandable to me, because ideas on it, I'm like, whoa, I agree with that, but it is very hard to conceptualize because it is something that is very hard to visualize. But I believe it in my soul and I find some truth to it. And when it comes to worrying, it drives you crazy. Like, I find it so silly, the thought of worrying and how much time, and maybe in the future, I'm probably going to worry, and hopefully I can reduce it at that point, right? And maybe to those that are watching, of needless worry and just wasting time that you don't got the leisure to spend. We all think we have the most time in the world. I'm 27, but honestly, who's to say how much time I really got left here? Something really tragic can happen to me. I think that helps bring gratitude and certain things and helps me worry less. Man, this burrito I had, oh my God, the burps are just jacking me up. And I think also the food I ingest and the habits I take through my day and just small stuff like skincare, brushing my teeth every night, just trying to be on top of things, look good, feel good kind of vibe, makes you have a different dialogue with yourself to where it's not as negative, or maybe you're not worrying as much with the little things. I try to read on certain things I find interesting, but I don't want to be obsessed with reading so much material that it ends up, one, repeating itself, and two, I may get bored and burnt out from the subject. But when it comes to thinking and worrying, I was so fed up and frustrated with it that I saw a therapist in 2020 because I couldn't get out of my head. And I was just utterly miserable and depressed and lacking direction in my life at 22. I had no idea what I was going to do after college, and I didn't really have a great job. I had a minimum wage job working retail, and retail is brutal. Like, shout out to the people that work retail, man. Oh my God, that shit is hard. I may share a story one day from my old days at my job that I worked from like 18 to 22, maybe 23-ish, almost 23. And, oh God, those times were brutal. I did not like that part of my life. I used to worry myself sick at that job. I was mentally not in the right place during that job. And I definitely like smoked weed and all these other things and drank a lot. Just was not a pleasant thing, and it just came to worrying. But I also felt I derived some sense of purpose from thinking about my problems and what's wrong with me? What can I do? How can I anticipate this person's behavior? Blah, 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 blah. And it got so exhausting to the point where I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is awful, awful, awful. And some people like solving problems, but when it comes to like your mind and the problems you make for yourself that don't come from other people and where you want to help them solve theirs and you're just creating your own, you can't really enjoy the present moment. And two, you just become this anxious mess of a person that really sucks the joy out of things. And as people, especially some people, are like addicted to this sense of subconscious thought of just worrying about shit that doesn't matter. Even though we told through books and self-help crap and philosophy, you won't want to listen to what others say that is wisdom until you find it out the hard way through pain, suffering, and struggle. And I think the more you live through life, you do gain wisdom, of course. And I think there's a beauty into getting older and living through life and the experiences you have. I don't look back at wanting to be younger, going back to the days when I was younger, because I lived through that time. That's in the past now. There's no value looking back, and maybe I'll have a nostalgic thought or so, but I'm not going to live in those memories and find a sense of identity and be like, I was born in the wrong generation, da-da-da. Like, that's going to serve you nothing. I hate when people say that shit because it is fundamental. You're saying that where you're living in now is not worth it. And you might as well, live yourself. That mentality, like, I'm born in the wrong generation. Like, okay, but you are. So are you going to accept that? Whine and try to cope through bullshit? Or do something about it if you think something's wrong and go do something that may make substantial change in the world or in your community or in yourself with your friends. Like, have some more action. I think at times when I was the most anxious, I just wasn't moving my body, whether it's like walking or running. I'm going to try to run more. I haven't ran in so long. It's been like years. I feel like I'm a geriatric old man when it comes to running, but I'm going to start getting into that. Been losing a little weight, a couple pounds. It's been about a month, I think about 3, and focusing on these little small goals I can build on every day really helps you not be as anxious and feeling shit about yourself. You get these certain things to start building up in your day-to-day life, and you still ponder about life, and you may have some anxious thoughts here and there, but it's not the majority of your day because you're too busy filling it up with stuff that, one, you find joy in, two, that you want to do, and may be challenging and takes mental effort and physical effort. Like for me, it's the gym and working out hard. I know while I'm in the gym for an hour and 20, I'm pretty dialed in. Sometimes I'll see a pretty girl and then I'll be distracted, or maybe I'll have thoughts of like, oh, is she looking my way? Is she interested? Guy stuff. Do I want to talk to her? Should I approach her? Do I want those things? Like those thoughts will come. I'll be completely honest. But when I was smoking weed and going to the gym and being just inebriated, oh my God, I couldn't even do my workout. I was like, I can't go to the gym. I look awful. Everyone's going to be looking at me. I used to think people were staring at me all the time. Like, where did I get that sense? Like, I was just hyper fixated on my appearance and how others see me. And it was just a miserable time. Absolutely miserable. And I think that just came from being obsessive about worrying about shit that didn't matter. So there's that. Some food for thought. Thanks for watching on this video. Have a good one. That's pretty much here. Catch you in the next one. Deuces.